In the news there, on the 20th of February 2024, Ms. Fraser, the headline was, government reveals data for last 5 years, 13,800 get bail for serious crimes. They said here, when it came to violent crime, last year, 24 were granted bail for murder, 143 for shooting and wounding, and 236 for rape, incest, and other sexual offenses. In addition, in 2023, the number of persons granted bail for kidnapping was 88. Kidnapping for ransom, 17. Burglaries for breaking was 148, and 218 for robberies. Last year, a total of 320 were granted bail for possession of firearms and ammunition charges, and 229 got bail for facing charges for other serious offenses. I only have headlines now for the Express on the 19th of February 2020. I said, gunmen getting bail to kill again, says COP. The Commissioner of Police is scolding the judiciary for what is considered soft approach by defenders coming to court charged with weapons and related offenses. Another one here from Loop News, there was September 2021, said teenage Arima teen granted bail for charges for gun possession. And the last one, bail for gunmen on related gun offenses. Mr. Prime Minister, after reading these headlines, I am sure other law-abiding citizens are also concerned that criminals, especially those on gun crimes, are accessing bail too easily and are back on the streets. Mr. Prime Minister, as head of the National Security Council, while I know it's a challenge, but I'm asking, what can you and your government do to ensure that these repeat offenders don't get bail?
Well, the only thing that the government can do, one, is to influence the legislation in such a way that you make it not as attractive and available as it is. But once the law has been passed, the operationalization of the law passes out from the hand of the government to the judiciary. The government has no role in the court in adjudicating on whether bail should be granted, because the law says that is the option of the judicial officer to whom the application for bail is made. The government has no role in determining how big the bail should be. But as citizens, we could comment, because the judges do comment on what's happening with the parliamentarians and the cabinet. But we could comment on how that and those laws are applied. Because I could tell you as Prime Minister, my eyebrows are raised from time to time. Only recently, I saw a situation of news where two persons, they're nameless, so I can't call their names, but two persons were apprehended for aggravated violent crime involving a firearm. That goes to the court. And the matter was concluded, so it became news and we all read it. Aggravated violent crime, gun crime, where the gun was not even handed over or found, and the court put the perpetrators on a bond. I am not happy with that. I don't think you are. But of course, the judicial officer in the court has the right to make that decision. That is what the law permits. And therefore, if the government is going to do anything, the government has to look at it from law. Are we going to change the law to say a judge can't do that? Well, you know, the judges have interpreted the law that the parliament passed to say, you could change the law, but at the end of the day, the law says that the judgment is ours. So, to answer your question more directly, There are some things the government can do from time to time in amending the law or introducing new laws, but when it comes to applying the law to the situations, that is entirely in the hands of other citizens who are beyond the cabinet, beyond the prime minister, and beyond the average citizen. Putting gun-toting people on a bond, one has to be parliamentary with the language to describe that. How could you think that that is a good thing? I don't know. How could you see remorse with violent crime with a gun where the gun has not been found? We had an instance, I am right now, my biggest fear is not only the bullets from the guns, I'm mortally afraid of fentanyl. When fentanyl was discovered in this country in the possession of a doctor, what did the court do? The court provided a discharge, a slap on the wrist, and time to pay. I wonder then, does this officer know what fentanyl is? Is this officer aware of how fentanyl is destroying societies with better resources than we have? Whole communities in the United States devastated by fentanyl. Young people destroyed in the prime of their life, even before they finish their school age. Fentanyl. And somebody is trying to supply it to our children here and go to court and get a pat on the wrist. And that person, being a medical doctor who should know better, and the medical association, whatever the authority that look after doctors, have no interest in the matter. Those are the conversations that this country must grapple with. But of course, blame the Prime Minister because the Prime Minister is a magic man. I'm Mandrake. But I tell you, we can pass the laws. You saw what happened with the anti-gang laws. We passed anti-gang laws. The police are telling you it will help us if bail is a little more restrictive. There are people saying no. So we can't eat our cake and still have it. Sometimes we have to tailor some of the rights that we have to treat with the behavior of the society by curbing some of those rights on the part of persons who have abused those rights. And that's where we have to go.